They need to find out who their starting right guard will be, and if Garrett Bradbury can finally flip the switch on in KOC's new system, and if he can revive his career, so to speak. If not, they better be working on plan B right now before you get into the middle of the season, and all of a sudden it's too late.
Yeah, you know what the saying is, Luke? When you have 5 right guards, you actually have none. And that's how I feel about the Minnesota Vikings right now, because you could make a case for Jesse Davis, Chris Reed, Wyatt Davis, Ed Ingram, Oli Udoh is still on the roster. Like, you've got a million guys that can do it, but who do you trust? I don't trust anybody at this point. I don't know who they're going to put there week 1. I think certainly Ed Ingram has the most upside, but you can't assume that rookies are the solution. Rookies build up your depth. They build up your future. You can't assume that they're going to be year 1 solves. That was the mistake with Wyatt Davis. They assumed that was a year 1 solve, and then they realized pretty fast, this guy can't do it. That was the thing with Drew Samia. This guy can't do it either. So here we are again, the definition of insanity, going through this same process, hoping, praying that someone internally will rise up and take this job, or that a minimum veteran free agent will emerge and have a career year suddenly. The approach has never made sense to me, Luke, the way they sort of diminish their efforts on the interior offensive line in free agency. I know they didn't have a lot of luck with, the Alex Boones of the world, but you have to try once in a while. You have to spend some of your money there, and they've elected not to do that now for several years in a row. They've taken these half measures when Kirk Cousins continues to get, blown up because Garrett Bradbury can't hold up, or, the guy next to him can't hold up. Ezra Cleveland is a bright spot, Luke. Let me give you something positive. I think Ezra Cleveland gives you a reliable piece on that interior offensive line. So there's one. So can you get one more reliable piece out of center or right guard? So then you got 2 out of 3. Then you can mask your weaknesses a little bit more effectively. I think last year they had 2 pretty glaring weaknesses. They had Udoh and they had Bradbury. And that was just a huge target for defensive lines to go at. I think if you have 2 out of 3 strong in there, you can do all right. So the question is it your right guard du jour who's going to be that strong spot, or is it Garrett Bradbury improving? I don't have a lot of faith in either one, Luke.
Yeah, might be time to finally let go of my Garrett Bradbury rookie card. Not sure that one's going to pay off like I thought it would. Luckily, they're Sport Card Investor. Sport Card Investor, completely free, and you can browse from over 630,000 cards at any given time. Download the Sports Card Investor app today, available for free in the Google Play and Apple stores, or go to sportscardinvestor.com/locked on. Back to the interior line talkers. Yeah, it feels like they'll have a 3-man battle, like you said. Good mix of young guys and vets. Rookie Ed Ingram, 3rd-round pick last year, Wyatt Davis, and the vet Jesse Davis, who I'll assume will start camp out as the starter from what we saw from OTAs. And then at center, I guess it's Bradbury's job to lose, but this is it, right? I mean, last chance dance for him. They know Kirk needs a clean pocket to step up into and have time to scan the field. And that's the engine that's going to make this highly anticipated KOC offense hum. A lot of pressure here for O'Connell, riding on what he can do with Kirk Cousins. If Bradbury struggles, I guess Chris Reed would be the next guy in line to get a shot and take over. Not a guy that probably, like you said, instills the most confidence in the fan base. But here's what's frustrating about the list when I look at it. This interior line has been the Achilles heel for this team since almost the Brett Favre era back in 2009, 2010. Ever since then, you've mentioned a few of these guys. It's just been a grab bag of cheap free agent vets. Brandon Fusco, David Yankee, Joe Berger, Mike Harris, list goes on and on. Every draft they leave with a middle round lineman, as you mentioned, who gives us a little hope. TJ Clemmings, Drew Samia, again, David Yankee from Stanford. Pac-12 Offensive Lineman of the Year, #1 guard on some experts' big boards. Bust. Now it feels like Wyatt Davis could be the next on this list after we heard nothing, just crickets from him last season. But when you look at this list from ESPN's top 10 interior linemen in the NFL, I'm sitting here staring at Brandon Sheriff and Joe Thuney, two of the top 5 best guards in the NFL. And either one of those guys you could have had if you just opened up the wallets a little bit and paid top dollar. You don't want to build your team through free agency, but when you're just 1 or 2 pieces away, it's a great way to complete your team and kind of put the finishing touches on those last glaring holes. And they could have turned their biggest weakness into a strength if they went out and signed just one of those guys. And after the decade of inconsistencies, like you said, I just can't understand why you just don't kind of admit defeat and say, okay, clearly we're not very good at drafting and developing these guys. Let's just go get what you pay for and sign a Pro Bowl guard in free agency and be done with it. And that's what stings the most, I think, when I look at this list.